On Thursday, August 7, 2025, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., the Carver Community Cultural Center in San Antonio, Texas, opened its doors to the public for a deeply moving event titled Flaco Jiménez's Final Curtain Call. This was not a traditional funeral, but a public memorial service designed to honor the extraordinary life and legacy of one of the most influential figures in conjunto and tejano music. Fans, family members, musicians, and civic leaders gathered. In the city, Flaco called home to pay tribute to a man whose music shaped generations. Admission was free and no reservations were required, in keeping with the spirit of accessibility that Flaco embodied throughout his career. The atmosphere was reverent yet celebratory, filled with warmth, memory, and music. The memorial served as a farewell befitting a cultural giant, personal yet public, solemn yet joyful. Attendees began arriving well before the scheduled start, some clutching vintage records or wearing T-shirts adorned with Flaco's image, all gathered to honor a legacy carved in melody and rhythm. The evening began with a prayer led by Deacon Adam Garza, a moment of spiritual grounding for the hundreds in attendance. The prayer created space for quiet reflection, and as the echoes of reverence faded, the service transitioned into a series of heartfelt tributes. Flaco's family, including his children and grandchildren, took to the stage to share their stories and express their gratitude for the outpouring of support. They spoke of a man who, despite his fame, remained grounded in family values, humility, and love. His son Arturo reflected on Flaco's final moments, describing how he passed peacefully, content with his accomplishments, and surrounded by those who mattered most. Civic leaders, including San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones, offered official remarks acknowledging Flaco's immense contributions to the city's cultural landscape. The mayor described Flaco as a musical ambassador of San Antonio, someone who not only represented his community, but also elevated it on the world stage. Other speakers included lifelong friends and fellow musicians who had shared stages, studios, and countless road trips with Flaco. Each tribute added a layer to the mosaic of his life, a portrait of a man as admired for his character as for his craft. The most emotional moments came from fellow artists who had been mentored by or collaborated with Flaco over the years. They spoke not just of his technical brilliance on the accordion, but also of his generosity and passion for music. He was known for encouraging younger musicians, always offering advice or an impromptu lesson, never too busy to lift someone else up. Many of those who shared the stage that night credited Flaco with shaping their careers and instilling in them a sense of cultural pride. As the formal tributes concluded, the audience was treated to a special performance by Los Tex-Maniacs, the Grammy-winning conjunto band led by Max Baca, one of Flaco's closest collaborators. The performance served as both a farewell and a celebration. The band played with emotion, and the crowd responded with claps, tears, and cheers. Each note was a reminder of the sound Flaco had carried across decades and continents. There was no encore needed. His legacy was the music itself, now reverberating through those he had influenced. Flaco Jiménez was born Leonardo Jiménez on March 11, 1939, in San Antonio, Texas. He grew up in a family steeped in musical tradition. His father, Santiago Jiménez Sr., was a pioneer of conjunto music, and his grandfather, Patricio Jiménez, also played accordion. By the age of 7, Flaco was already performing, first learning the bajo sexto before transitioning to the accordion, the instrument that would define his life and artistry. From the beginning, it was clear he possessed a gift, an intuitive connection to melody, rhythm, and emotion that set him apart even as a child. Over the span of more than 70 years, Flaco became one of the most influential musicians in American roots music. While he began his career playing traditional conjunto, his style evolved to incorporate elements of country, rock, jazz, and blues. He brought a distinctly Tex-Mex flavor to the mainstream, collaborating with legends like Bob Dylan, Dr. John, Ry Cooder, the Rolling Stones, and Dwight Yoakam. Whether on small dance hall stages or international tours, Flaco's music carried with it the spirit of South Texas and the borderlands, a sound that was both deeply local and powerfully universal. His accolades reflected his far-reaching influence. Flaco won multiple Grammy Awards over his career, including a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2015. He was honored with the National Heritage Fellowship by the National Endowment for the Arts and named Texas State Musician. In 2022, he received the National Medal of Arts, one of the highest honors bestowed on an American artist. Despite these recognitions, Flaco remained famously humble. Friends often joked that he seemed more comfortable in a small San Antonio taqueria than in a recording studio in Los Angeles. That humility was central to his charm. He never sought the spotlight. It came to him. As Flaco's health declined, in recent years he remained closely connected to his music and community. In 2023, he underwent surgery and spent time in the hospital for vascular issues. His family provided occasional updates, and though he wasn't performing as frequently, he never stopped playing. In his final months, Flaco shared that he was at peace with his journey. He expressed pride in the music he made and the lives he touched. His son, Arturo, later said that his father's passing on July 31, 2025, was calm and full of grace. He was 86 years old. The decision to host a public memorial rather than a private funeral reflected the values Flaco held dear. He belonged to the people. His music, after all, was always about connection between generations, cultures, and communities. The Carver Community Cultural Center was chosen deliberately as the location for the memorial. It is a venue with deep cultural roots in San Antonio, a place that has long hosted events celebrating Black, Latino, and Indigenous contributions to the arts. In many ways, it represented the spirit of Flaco's music, inclusive, joyful, and rooted in community. No aspect of the memorial was commercialized. The family made clear there were no fundraising efforts, no official merchandise, and no authorized GoFundMe pages. They wanted the event to be simple, respectful, and focused, entirely on Flaco's life and impact. That clarity ensured the event stayed true to its purpose, a gathering of hearts, not headlines. For those who couldn't attend in person, social media became a virtual gathering space. Fans from around the world posted memories, shared favorite songs, and offered condolences. Tributes poured in from fellow musicians, cultural organizations, and political leaders. Some played his music from balconies or porches, others held impromptu jams in plazas and community centers. The mourning was global, but the celebration was deeply local. Flaco's legacy is one that transcends genre. He brought the sound of the borderlands into conversation with the wider world, and in doing so, he helped redefine American music. His style was unmistakable, rich, expressive, and spontaneous. He was known for never playing the same song the same way twice, each performance a unique conversation between artist and audience. That spontaneity is what made his music feel so alive, so personal. Every note carried history and every pause held meaning. In the days following the memorial, musicians across Texas and beyond dedicated performances to Flaco. At dance halls and festivals, his music was played with reverence and joy. Many performers spoke of feeling his presence on stage as if the rhythm of his accordion still guided their hands and hearts. For the conjunto community, and for lovers of folk and roots music worldwide, Flaco's death marked the end of an era. Yet his influence lives on, not only in recordings and awards, but in the people he inspired. Flaco Jiménez's final curtain call was not an ending, but a passage, a transition from performer to legend, from man to music. As the lights dimmed, in the Carver Center, and the final notes of Los Tex-Maniac's performance faded into applause, there was a shared understanding among those present. Flaco was not gone. He lived on in every accordion that cried out in joy, in every dance that spun across a floor, and in every child who picked up an instrument with wonder. He gave the world a soundtrack for celebration and sorrow, for resilience and remembrance. And in return, the world gave him its heart. Through that exchange, Flaco Jiménez became more than a musician. He became a bridge, a symbol, a cultural treasure. His story now belongs to all of us, and it will be retold through melody for generations to come.